Hello, beautiful soul seekers. I thank you so much for being here listening to this message, this episode. Today, we're going to be talking about stop resisting God's plan. This has been heavily on my heart today. And I feel like this isn't just for me. I feel like this is a collective message about how God is going to show up for a group of souls out there that has experienced a lot of turmoil over the last 6 or 7 years, a lot of changes, a lot of disappointments and letdowns and confusion about where they need to be and what they need to be doing with their life at this time. I feel like there's an acceleration of energies that's here to help bring in divine intervention in moving you out of stagnation and into a calling of lighter energies, a lighter time, a time of replenishing and getting back to your authentic essence and roots. With this message, I heard God say, divine intervention is at play. And in order for divine intervention to be able to take place in your life, you have to stop resisting and make room for this intervention to come in to help you. I heard drop all plans and release all expectations. Hold on to your vision and your desires that you want to experience. This is not about talking yourself out of desires that you know that you want or settling. This is about thinking bigger. This is about lasering in and staying focused on the things that you want to see in your life, no matter how big they are or may seem to you. God is saying there's a repairing in your faith and trust in God, in the divine energies that is happening right now. And all you have to do is hold space for yourself and for God. This is a very, I feel like, sacred time for God to show up for you in a way that you've never experienced. I feel like this is going to be a time of testimony. You're going to be a walking testimony. You're going to be able to share your story to let others know, like, God did it for me, and this is how God did it for me, and God can do it for you. And it may not look the same for everybody, but I'm here and trust yourself, trust your intuition, and trust the insight that you're receiving right now, because you will experience some miracles. And allow yourself to experience this soul growth, because a lot of times we don't want to admit the disappointment that we have experienced in life, especially when it comes to God and being like, you feel like you've been let down by God, but God never lets us down. Everything is a lesson, right? So I heard two things. I heard 21 days with God. Spend these next 21 days, whenever you're listening or tuning into this message, spend the next 21 days allowing God to show you something. And then after your 21-day period, I'm hearing spend the next year being a testimony. So whatever that means for you, whatever you're wanting is coming to fruition. But I feel like this 21-day period is like some sort of activation and clearing of the heart space and really anchoring in with your soul and what you really want. And I'm being reminded of the Genesis, is it 32? One second, let me look it up. Genesis 32 is when Jacob is wrestling with God and trying to figure out like what is going on in his life and why he has to go back to the place that he basically fled from. And I feel like this is going to be, if you have a Bible, I'm not sure if this story is in the Quran or the Torah, open that section and read that story, because that is the testimony to Jacob of how God is trying to work for you, but we wrestle with God. We doubt those messages we hear that God is working for us or things are getting better. No matter what we hear, we doubt the things that are good, especially when you've been in a season of darkness or ego death, when you're releasing and purging and trying to rediscover who you are, the person you once were, the lessons you once learned. You realize like, okay, I learned this lesson. I know who I am, but why isn't my world showing me these things. That is a part of this transformation that God is wanting you to experience, wanting you to see. A lot of times we have to be broken down in order to rebuild and start a new foundation, because those past things were all illusions. Those past things aren't us anymore. We don't recognize or align with those things. So I just keep hearing, allow God to show up for you. And how you can do this is release any plans or any goals. Hold on to your desires. So if you want a new home or a new car, or you want a new job, or you want to find the love of your life, or you just want to be more spiritually aware, hold on to the desire, but allow God to pave the way for you to get to that desire. A lot of times we have a desire and then we start to come up with a plan like, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, and then I'll do this, and then my desire should come and it'll all work out. But that's not how it works. You have to remain fluid in the process of being a human. We're just here to experience. So you're just here to observe what you're creating and how it unfolds. Don't get so caught up in one direction or one way of something coming that you ignore all the pathways that are opening up that may be unrelated to the thing that you want in that time, but is ultimately leading you to that desire that you want. Sometimes we have to go a totally different route. Say your house is right down the street from Target or something, and you usually just take the direct route, to go to Target. But one day you feel called to go across town, come up a different way, and then go to Target. You still get to Target. It's just not the way you thought. And maybe you avoided a bad accident that would have had you sitting there for hours, because you're like, okay, let me take this detour because I really want to stop at this coffee shop and maybe see my friend for a second and then go to Target. Like, we don't really know which way we're going to go. We just know what we want. And that is fine. Life or society tries to make us feel like we have to have it all planned out. If you don't know what you're going to do in the next 5 years, something is wrong with you. Like, that's not true. Nobody really knows what they're going to be doing in the next 5 years, let alone feeling, let alone like knowing what they want, because as we evolve and change, our desires evolve and change. We expand. At one moment, we may not believe that we could be millionaires, but then we experience something, see something, learn something, expand out to where we're like, okay, this is a real possibility for me. I can be a millionaire. So then maybe your desires change from just staying at one job and not shooting for those millions to like, no, I want to open this company, I want to work here, and I want to achieve this $1,000,000. So be open, be fluid, allow divine intervention to really lead you in this time, because there's going to be a lot of shifts happening collectively. And if you're in your ego and you're trying to plan everything and do it by yourself, then it's going to be much harder, and it could take much longer than what you would want if you were just to stay open to the possibilities of good things happening for you and allowing these things to come towards you. So that is my message for today. I thank you so much for being here with me listening, and I hope you are having a beautiful day. And until next time, I will see you in the next episode. Bye for now.